Hello, everyone. I am Matt Williamson. Good to have you. Spread the word. Hit the subscribe button. Go check out the YouTube page, my YouTube page on top of that, at Williamson NFL. Follow me on Twitter. Check out all the good stuff going on with DK right now as well. We have a two-parter for you today, and the first half is going to be about Justin Fields. So let's dig right in. So I really like Justin Fields. I am enamored with what he could potentially become. It still blows my mind that many national NFL media folks think that we're in the midst of a quarterback controversy or a quarterback competition. Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know Mike Tomlin has not said those exact words, but he is. I mean, anyone that goes to practice or is around the team, I'm sure if you even ask Justin Fields, he would tell you these things. Now, I'm very enamored with a Fields package because I think he's really difficult to play against, especially in short spurts. And I also think, I know that once you get into the regular season, there's not much prep and practice time as most people think. And if you have to dedicate a portion of every practice the week before you play the Steelers to a Fields package that is mostly running, but not entirely, and certainly more throwing than Taysom Hill with the Saints and that type of thing. No route running, but he's taking snaps and he's running the football with big personnel, or he's throwing the football. I think that is a really difficult thing to deal with. I also think Fields is a real handful near the goal line. However, I also think, how many times we talked about, wow, they might actually throw touchdown passes this year. Wilson's really good down by the goal line as a pure thrower, anticipatory guy. So I don't know that I would have the goal line package for him, but I would have a package for Fields without Wilson on the field for sure. I mean, I think most weeks or every week or something that makes you a little bit unique as an offense in that regard. Now, some things I don't love. He makes big plays. He made some big plays in this last preseason game. And I know, trust me, I hosted the post-game radio show. Get a lot of calls and a lot of people saying, do we think Fields should be the starter? Look at all the big plays he made in that game. He did. Against lesser opponents, late in a preseason game, for a guy that's played a lot of football to be in that situation, who's immensely talented, I would be more concerned if he didn't, especially as a runner. Like when things would open up, or if they just played man, he just takes it and goes, and you know that has a lot of value, and he is a big play guy. However, when you compare him to Wilson, I have some crazy numbers about Steelers turnovers and when they win versus, turnover stuff whenever they win-loss record with turnover stuff is a little insane. And actually, let me just pull it up here because this is a big proponent of what's going on here. Over the past 3 seasons, now remember, not very good quarterback play, the Steelers are 28-7 when they won or tied the turnover battle. What do you think their record is when they lose the turnover battle over the last 3 years? 0-0. 15-1. If you look at interception percentages over their career, Wilson's is really good. Fields is pretty bad. They both fumble too much. They both hold the ball in the pocket too much. And that brings me back to what we're seeing with Fields in the preseason now. He still is holding the ball way too long. He's dropping his eyes and running despite having clean pockets in the preseason. Like if it's a regular season, if it's a Super Bowl and there's this huge 20-yard gain to be had with your legs, great. But I would be much more comfortable with him working on his craft, doing things that stay in the pocket instead of running from clean pockets. If you look at a lot of his runs, he didn't have to. So don't in these situations. And here's what backs that up. Is I know you guys, well, I hope you guys realize that I often quote average time to throw. You know, from when the ball is snapped to when the quarterback releases the football, how many seconds, or 2.4, 2.7, whatever, go by. He has the highest time to throw of any quarterback in the preseason in the entire league. He's always going to be high because he can run around. Lamar can be high. Josh Allen can be high in that, because there will be plays where these guys hold the ball 5-6 seconds and elude tacklers behind the line of scrimmage. But he doesn't have nearly enough of throws where the ball comes out in 2.3. Like, if you don't understand route concepts, this goes back to Bill Walsh. It takes X amount of time for wide receiver X to run a slant route, a deep comeback, an in, whatever. And that marries with your footwork. Now, shotgun screws that up a little bit, but these things are down to 2.3 for this route, 2.5 for that route, 2.7 for this longer developing route. He's consistently past that. So that means guys are coming out of their break. The ball should be there waiting for them or very closely after. Then he's throwing it. He's still a see it and throw it passer. That's a problem, man. You know, and that needs to improve. I was really critical in training camp. Throw the ball, get it out. And I thought I saw improvement in that. I'm not sitting there with a stopwatch. But these 2 games, he has the highest time to throw in the entire league. This episode is brought to you by Bet Online. Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, Bet Online is every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor pool. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE, all capitals, BLEAV, and get in on the action. Bet Online. The game starts here. Another thing I often quote is Warren Sharp, who I think has a really good analytic perspective on the league. And you can tell it's making him crazy because he had to write an article about, and I'm not trying to make you Steeler fans feel better about bad offense, but I've been telling you, I think this preseason's the most unwatchable league-wide that I can remember. And Sharp really digs into this and talks about he accumulated the last 7 years of data since 2017. This year, offenses are averaging, and this might not mean anything to you, but soon it will, negative 0.13 EPA per play, the worst of any year. Offenses are averaging 35% success rate, the worst of any year. Quarterbacks are averaging only negative 0.1 EPA per dropback, the worst of any year. Quarterbacks are averaging only 6.2 yards per attempt, the worst of any year. Quarterbacks are completing only 61% of their attempts, the worst of any year. And what has been the result of all this inefficient offense? Teams are only averaging 15.6 points per game through the preseason, the lowest of any year. Now, Warren has a heavy betting background, but 82% of the preseason unders have hit. It's unbelievable. 27-6. 82% of the preseason unders. And he has 3 reasons why this is the case. Starting quarterbacks are playing left. They're playing less. Okay. Josh Allen has 4 dropbacks this year in the preseason. Jordan Love has 2. Joe Burrow has 7. He counted 8 starting quarterbacks that have 7 dropbacks or fewer. Love, Allen, Burrow, Anthony Richardson, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, Levis, Brock Purdy. Now, I understand there's not a Steeler name on there. I do get that. But this is a league-wide trend, is what I'm telling you. The other thing is head coaches don't care about game results nearly as much as they used to. That is absolutely true. This is absolutely true to me with the Steelers. Coaches are showing a lot less. They're hiding a lot of stuff for the regular season. That is absolutely true. They're just out there running plays or working on things. Like, for example, this past week, Steelers played a lot of 11 personnel with 3 receivers on the field. That's not what they do. That's not what they're going to do. They must be working on it. And then here's the other thing that's not as interesting, but we really just don't want it to carry over to the regular season. The refs. They're calling... Penalties are greatly influencing the game. So, overall defensive penalties, we've had almost 150 per year called over the last 2 years. This year it's only 107. So, but the same's not happening on offense. Defenses are not getting penalized very much. The offense is. And it's a way more balanced. You know, this year we've had 222 offensive penalties this year, and this year we have 107 defensive penalties. Like, if this is a trend for the season, the league really needs to worry about this stuff. Like, we know that quarterbacks are going to play in the regular season, but over the last 2 years, we've had 68 and 69 starting quarterbacks in the league in each respective season. Those are bad players. The scheming thing will correct itself. But if the refs are going to heavily favor penalizing the offense and not the defense, it becomes less watchable. Now, I don't care about the fantasy stats or whatever. I'm just saying that across the league, and it's not excusing the poor play by the Steelers offense, but this is a league-wide issue. And not every offense has been bad, but the points and everything about it, the efficiency, has been really poor this preseason to date. Just wanted you to know that. I thought that was really interesting. All right, everyone. Over and out.